Good evening. Welcome to South Asian Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Friday, the 17th of October. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets top military commanders in backdrop of border tensions. Pakistan accounts for 80% of polio cases in the world, says WHO. And small budget films aim to strike it big at box office. And now for all the details. India's Supreme Court on Friday granted a conditional bail to former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalithaa in a graft case. The three co-accused were also given bail. The apex court order came in an appeal filed by Jayalalithaa challenging the Karnataka High Court order last week, which denied her legal relief. A special court had last month found the three-time former Chief Minister of the Southern Province and her associates guilty of amassing wealth during her first term in office in 1991-96. All the four convicted were sentenced to 4 years imprisonment and a fine of $16 million each. A Pakistani court on Thursday rejected the appeal by Asia Bibi challenging her death sentence. Bibi, a Christian woman, is among the 20 people in Pakistan who are on death row for alleged blasphemy.
The Lahore High Court has upheld the capital punishment awarded to Asia Bibi in a blasphemy case. The court on Thursday rejected the claim of her counsel, stating that there was no evidence of her making the alleged blasphemous comment. Bibi, the 50-year-old mother of 5, has been in jail ever since June 2009 after her co-workers accused her of making offensive remarks against Prophet Muhammad during an argument. She had appealed against her sentence by a lower court in 2010. She now has a window of 30 days to make another plea in the Supreme Court against the punishment. Her conviction has been regularly criticized by Pakistan's humanitarian groups and global organizations alike, with even Pope Benedict XVI making an appeal for her release. Shahbaz Bhatti, a Christian cabinet minister who advocated her cause and demanded the review of the country's blasphemy law, was killed by religious extremists in 2010. Former governor of Pakistan's Punjab province Salman Taseer, who met Bibi in jail denouncing her conviction, was also shot dead by his own bodyguard in January 2011. Pakistan has stringent blasphemy laws which carry the death penalty for insulting the Prophet or defacing the Quran. However, rights groups and observers have pointed out that the laws have increasingly been used to target religious minorities and even settle personal scores.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the country's top military commanders on Friday. This comes after weeks of cross-border firing in Jammu and Kashmir as well as tensions with China.
Almost 5 months after taking over as the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi has met the top commanders of the Army, Navy and Air Force for the first time. The high-profile meeting comes at a time when India and Pakistan are involved in border skirmishes in the Kashmir region. On the other hand, India plans to build a 2,000-kilometer-long road along its border with China. That has caused Beijing to react by saying that New Delhi should not take any action that may complicate the Sino-Indian border dispute. However, the main opposition Congress party says the foreign policy of the Modi government is to blame.
हमारी फॉरेन पॉलिसी को सरकार को चाहिए कि ठीक तरीके से मजबूत करे. पिछले 3-4 महीने में विदेश नीति में हम फेल हो चुके हैं, चाहे पाकिस्तान का मामला हो, चाहे चाइना का मामला हो.
And just around the time of the Prime Minister's meeting with his country's top commanders, India successfully test-fired a nuclear-capable missile from its eastern coast of Balasore in Odisha.
This cruise missile is a long-range cruise missile hugging the surface of the sea or land and through the valleys at 10 to 15 feet. It can carry on and it cannot be picked up by the radar deep within the enemy territory, 700 and 1,000 kilometers away. It can carry out a very accurate launch.
The Prime Minister might have outlined his strategic vision in the meeting with the country's top military officials. But analysts say the message sent is that India should not be taken lightly and will be able to respond militarily to situations that may arise in the region.
Pakistan accounts for more than 80% of the polio cases reported globally, the World Health Organization or WHO has said. This comes after new polio infections reported in the country this year crossed 200, breaking its own 14-year-old record.
The WHO, in its Global Polio Eradication Report, expressed concern over the alarming growth of polio cases across Pakistan. It termed the complete eradication of the crippling disease as the biggest challenge for Pakistan. Pakistan remains the single greatest risk to the achievement of global polio eradication. Issues involving children's access to immunization and safety of vaccinators must be resolved to ensure that the program can be completed, the report said. Pakistan had this month broken its own record for the highest number of polio cases in a year after the country already reported 206 instances of wild type 1 polio in 2014 so far. Pakistan's inability to control the spread of the deadly virus is largely attributed to a ban imposed by militant groups on immunization campaigns. The Taliban, which claims the oral vaccine is a Western plot to sterilize Muslims, have repeatedly targeted anti-polio drives, killing at least 64 health workers and volunteers since 2012. The militant threats, along with several conservative parents who refuse to vaccinate their children, have raised fears of the spread of polio to other parts of the world, where the disease has already been eradicated.
Sri Lanka on Friday expressed concern over a European Court of Justice or ECJ order annulling the sanctions on the LTTE. The Sri Lankan Foreign Ministry said the court order needs to be further assessed by the government. The ECJ had on Friday struck down a European Union sanction on the LTTE, citing technicalities. The court, however, said the assets of the Tamil separatist should remain frozen for the time being and rejected the LTTE's plea seeking removal of its name from terror organizations list. The LTTE and its operations have been banned in the EU since 2006. The armed rebels who fought for a separate homeland for the Tamil-speaking minority in the country were defeated in 2009 after a bloody civil war that lasted for over 2 decades. In the age when kids are surrounded by books and school syllabus, this 10-year-old had the entire police department following him. Take a look at how this boy lived his dream of becoming the commissioner of police.
Many burn the midnight oil to attain this status. But for Mohammad Sadiq, it was something which came as a blessing. The kid, who was given the opportunity to serve as the police commissioner of southern Hyderabad for a day, couldn't gush any less for the lifetime chance. Sadiq's dream was fulfilled by a non-governmental Make-A-Wish Foundation on humanitarian ground after he was diagnosed with advanced blood cancer 5 months ago. The 10-year-old, who aspires to be a police officer, was given a warm welcome by the police when he arrived at Commissioner M. Mahinder Reddy's office.
मैं सबसे बड़ा पुलिस अफसर बनना चाहता हूँ। अमन और शांति के लिए काम करना चाहता हूँ।
Sadiq is currently undergoing treatment at a state-run hospital in the provincial capital. It was a bittersweet moment for his father.
ऐसा मौका अभी तक किसी को मिला नहीं और मिलता भी नहीं। बहुत हमारे खुशकिस्मत है जो हमारे बच्चे का जो गुड लक है और गोल्डन चांस टू आवर लाइफ हो, ऐसा मौका मिला हमारे को और बहुत खुशी हो रहा और सब लोग यहाँ हमारे परिवार और हमारे जो दोस्तों में भी बहुत बड़ी खुशी हुई।
The Make-A-Wish Foundation is a voluntary organization working to fulfill the wishes of children with life-threatening illnesses to enrich the human experience with hope, strength and joy.
The celebratory spirit surrounding Diwali has already gripped the nation. Take a look at how revelers are gearing up for one of the biggest festivals of India.
As Diwali inches closer, a large number of artisans in eastern West Bengal are running against time to meet all possible orders of earthen lamps, which are an integral part of the Festival of Lights. As the potters are busy spinning out exemplary diyas, many complain of slack in their sales as cheaper Chinese lights have flooded the markets.
পাবলিক নেচারা প্লাস্টিকের জিনিস প্লাস্টিকের সব ইসে বানাচ্ছে না প্লাস্টিকের প্রদীপ বানাচ্ছে তারপরে টুনি এগুলো বানাচ্ছে হ্যাঁ ওগুলোর জন্য চলতেছে
Shopkeepers in eastern provincial capital Patna, in the meantime, are stocking an assortment of Chinese lights that seem to be the best choice this season. The lamps in the form of coils, ropes, chandeliers, balls, garden lights and artificial diyas are seeing enough demand. Customers said these fairy lights were cheaper and more striking than the traditional diyas.
चाइनीज जो है देखने में अच्छा लगता है और इसका रेट कम भी होता है। भले ये टिकाऊ नहीं होता है लेकिन देखने में अच्छा लगता है और रेट कम होता है इसलिए चाइनीज लाइट लगाता है।
In southern Chennai, traders are making profits with the sale of firecrackers picking up as Diwali is heading nearer. And with retailers offering attractive discounts, customers are not shying away from spending lavishly. The festive fervour also took over the pink city of Jaipur as gold prices eased in the western desert state of Rajasthan. Delighted gold lovers are cracking best deals to purchase the yellow metal ahead of the festival of Dhanteras, which falls a few days before Diwali.
हमें बहुत खुशी है कि त्योहार के टाइम पे भाव कम है और इसीलिए हम यहाँ पर आए हैं शॉपिंग करने के लिए।
Diwali marks the return of Lord Ram to Ayodhya after he defeated the demon king Ravan in Lanka. Bursting crackers and gifting friends and family is an integral part of the most famous Hindu festival. Diwali falls on October 23rd this year.
Bollywood's dose of small-budget films making big at the box office continues. And if these films flaunt off a huge support base, half the battle is won.
They are from Swiss Bank. Small is big, and Bollywood is well versed to cash on the spark these low-budget films generate with their content. Several biggies took time off to attend the special screening of the latest film, 21 Topon Ki Salami, in entertainment capital Mumbai. Actors Anil Kapoor and Daisy Shah, along with filmmakers Tigmanshu Dhulia and David Dhawan, came to cheer for their friends in the film.
It's one of the best films of this year, and सबकी performance बहुत अच्छी है, film बहुत बढ़िया है, और इसी इतनी छोटी सी film और इतनी तारीफ और there is a social message also in this film.
The cast, including Anupam Kher, Neha Dhupia, Divyendu Sharma and Manu Rishi, were happy the film was getting rave reviews.
ये एक आम आदमी की जिंदगी की कहानी है, एक पॉलिटिकल सटायर है, थ्रिलर टाइप है और सच्चाई से बात करता है, and yet it entertains everybody. First half में आपको रोना आता है, second half में आप हंसते-हंसते रोते हैं.
आपको सम्मान नहीं मिला ना, मैं दिलवाऊंगा आपको सम्मान.
21 तोपों की सलामी चाहिए मुझको.
21 Topon Ki Salami, which opened last weekend, is the story about a common man, Purushottam Joshi, who fails to earn his bit of appreciation despite being completely honest during his entire life. His two sons, Shekhar and Subhash, set out to fulfill the last wish of their father, the ultimate sign of respect of 21 gun salute.
मेरे पास एक आइडिया है.
The cast of Sonali Cable also called in friends from fraternity at an exclusive screening ahead of its release this weekend. Actors Varun Dhawan and Rekha, along with music composer Preetam, came to support the team, including filmmakers Rohan and Ramesh Sippi, apart from lead actors Riya Chakravarti and Raghav Juyal.
अभी फिलहाल तो जो लोग बाहर आए हैं पहली स्क्रीनिंग से इंटरवल पे, सबने अच्छी बातें बोली हैं, सबने बहुत अच्छी बातें बोली है, तो खुश हूँ. फिलहाल तो अच्छे स्पेस में हूँ.
अगर एक अच्छी पिक्चर रिलीज हो तो वो डेफिनेटली आगे जाके बहुत कारोबार करेगी. तो मेरे हिसाब से सोनाली केबल हैज़ दैट इन इट कि तो फिल्म है जो स्टोरी लाइन अच्छी है. जैसे राघव ने मेरे को बहुत बताई पिक्चर के बारे में कि पिक्चर में एक हार्ट है एंड इट्स अबाउट द कॉमन मैन.
अपने दम पे मैं और मेरे लड़के लोग ने अपना इंटरनेट.
Set in the cable internet turf war of Mumbai, Sonali Cable is the story of a ghetto girl and her ragtag team who take on a greedy conglomerate that's out to decimate their spirit of enterprise. It focuses on the growing corporate crushing small businesses without any scope for coexistence. The film also stars Ali Fazal and Anupam Kher.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets top military commanders in backdrop of border tensions. Pakistan accounts for 80% of polio cases in the world, says WHO. And small budget films aim to strike it big at box office. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.